intelligence agencies have warned us that terrorists could target the Chenab Bridge or the Anji Bridge. They could also target the passengers traveling on these trains. There are more than 78,000 bridges on the Indian railway network. And the bridges are very, very vulnerable.
India's railway network is one of the largest and busiest in the world, carrying over 23 million passengers every day. Ensuring their safety is a Herculean task, shouldered by the Railway Protection Force, often referred to as the backbone of India's railway security. Challenges posed by railways we can't even think about, from terror threats to sabotages. Ensuring 100% security on thousands of kilometers of tracks and hundreds of stations is a logistic nightmare. To understand what this nightmare is all about and how the Railway Protection Force makes it so easy, I'm joined by Manoj Yadav, who is a 1988 batch officer from Haryana cadre. He's the Director General of Police for Railway Protection Force. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to Indian Express.
Namaskar.
First things first, sir, after Pahalgam attack, new routes from Srinagar have been added to Jammu. Vande Bharat train has started. And I read somewhere, that along with NSG and RPF, you people have conducted high intensity train intervention exercises. So what is the threat like in these routes?
As you are aware that the opening of the Srinagar-Katra railway link has opened a completely new chapter because it has for the first time brought the valley and the Jammu region together and also connected this important, beautiful state to the rest of the country. And two very iconic bridges like the Chenab Bridge and the Anji Bridge are located. And this train passes through large number of tunnels. In fact, 3 of the tunnels on this route are the longest railway tunnels in the country.
Okay.
So as a result, you are aware that J&K is a terrorist affected state and our friendly approach to the people is absolutely necessary, but there is a Pak inspired terrorism and they will try everything in the book to harm the railway infrastructure or the passengers. And therefore, we are very, very alert because intelligence agencies have warned us that terrorists could target the Chenab Bridge or the Anji Bridge. They could also target the passengers traveling on these trains. The train passes through highly mountainous area where it is very difficult to secure. So the challenge and threat of terrorism is always there and we are trying our best to meet up this. For this, we are focusing on better communication, better intelligence and better mobility. We have also deployed the RPSF commandos. We have a Koras battalion, specialized commandos which are trained in train intervention. And we have carried out joint exercise with the NSG and J&K police. So, we are determined to keep this journey and this railway track very safe.
Sir, how prepared is RPF to handle, even apart from terror threats, sabotage attempts? Because we keep reading so many sabotage attempts have taken place due to which derailments always take place.
So, I would slightly disagree with you. The most of the derailments which take place, generally they take place in the yard during shunting operations. And that is because of a variety of technical factors affecting the quality of the wagons, the quality of the track. So there are attempts, I will not call them sabotage attempts, people, sometimes children out of playfulness, sometimes people who are drunk, sometimes people who are trying to transport something across the railway track, they see a train approaching, they dump it and run away. So the media always describes them as sabotage attempts, but deeper investigation shows that very few of them are deliberate sabotage attempts. In fact, the obstructions that are placed are also very minor nature and they are not capable of derailing a train. But at the same time, these obstructions do pose a challenge. We register a case in every single incident, then investigate it and bring the culprits to book.
Sir, what are the measures in place to prevent attacks on railway infrastructure? Because railway infrastructure is also quite huge.
It's huge. As you rightly said, we have more than 71,000 route kilometers.
Oh,
and if we calculate the length of the tracks 2 or 3 tracks running parallel, then it comes to more than 1,50,000 kilometers. And there are more than 78,000 bridges on the Indian railway network. And the bridges are very, very vulnerable. So safeguarding this huge infrastructure is a tall order even for us. Fortunately, the responsibility is divided. So on the open section of the line between two major stations, the responsibility lies with the state government. Whereas the responsibility for security of railway stations, railway premises and trains is with the RPF and GRP. GRP, as you know, is a government railway police. So every state has a GRP. So the GRP and RPF, we work together shoulder to shoulder to keep the railways and its passengers safe.
So you must have also categorized your railway stations in zones. Like how many zones are there? If you can just share, like which are the most sensitive zones? If which states like.
So in all, railway is organized zone-wise. There are 16 zones throughout the country. And I would say that from the security point of view, the most sensitive zones are first the Northeast Frontier Railway, NFR, which passes through the states of Assam, Tripura, Mizoram, Nagaland and Manipur. And that area, for a variety of historical reasons, is prone to insurgency. So that is a very challenging theatre. The second challenging theatre is the state of J&K. The Indian Railway enters the state of J&K at Lakhanpur, goes up to Jammu, and then via Udhampur, it goes up to Katra and now up to Srinagar and Baramulla. So because of it's a terrorist affected state, and this being a central government undertaking, it's always a target. So fortunately, the trains have been running in the Kashmir Valley since 2009, and because of very extensive security arrangements made by RPF and the state police, not a single attack has taken place so far.
Good.
And we are determined to keep it this way.
Yes. So technology and modernization are also part of upgradation as far as railway police force is also concerned. So how is AI and technology being integrated into the railway security operations?
So railway per se is a technology driven organization. You have seen that our first semi-high speed train Vande Bharat is completely indigenous. So RPF, as an important part of Indian Railways, also tries to keep itself absolutely up to date. So you are talking of artificial intelligence. We are using artificial intelligence for facial recognition. So now a very important video surveillance system is being put in place. Large number of CCTVs are which are FRS, facial recognition technology enabled cameras. So what we will do is that all the criminals who operate on the railway network, their photographs shall be uploaded on the system. So the moment a criminal comes on the platform, he or she shall be recognized and the security agencies shall be alerted.
And so what are the biggest challenges in modernizing the RPF's tools and training? It's a huge force also.
So RPF pays a lot of emphasis to training. And we have a railway Protection Force Training Academy, which is our national academy at Lucknow. And in every zone, we have a training institution, zonal training center. And we make sure that every railway employee and the employee of RPF, they are conversant with the latest security drills, latest procedures, latest law. And therefore, everybody is given a training at least once in 3 years for 2 weeks. And we are always keeping them abreast with the changing methodology being used by the criminals, changing technology. So we are using technology for latest communication techniques, and we are using the body-worn cameras to control the interaction and to keep a record of the interaction and to generate a sense of responsibility. We are also using very ultra-modern mobility devices like segways, because our numbers are not going to increase because of the financial constraints. So we have to use the technology, mobility and intelligence as a force multiplier. And therefore technology comes in a very big way.
Sir, you have to be a people's friendly force, as you were also saying. So what steps has the RPF taken to ensure the safety of women and children on trains? Because if I'm traveling all alone, do I feel safe while I'm traveling on long distances also during night hours also?
So railways, what we do is that all major trains, we provide escort. On the mobile train, you would see a team of 4 constables headed by a sub-inspector is always accompanying a train. That's number one. But we run more than 13,000 trains per day. It's not possible to escort every train. Second important innovation is the rail madad. If any passenger, particularly lady passenger, if she is facing any threat, she can dial 139 and immediately the security control room of that area will be alerted, and the next station the complaint will be attended to. Thirdly, we have inducted very large number of women police personnel in RPF. In fact, I am proud to say that the proportion of women in RPF is highest among all Central Armed Police Forces.
Okay, very good.
It's at 9.64%, and we are determined to bring it to 15% in next 5 years. And fourth is a very innovative scheme called Meri Saheli, in which if all the women who are travelling alone on long distance trains are contacted by 2 lady constables to give them a sense of assurance, and at every major station where the train stops, the lady constables contact the lady travelling alone. So that this scheme has become very popular. We are getting in touch with more than 25,000 passengers, lady passengers travelling alone on long distance trains every day.
Every day?
Across more than 400 trains.
Oh, my Meri Saheli. Saheli. And I also read somewhere that you have, given chili powder to these Mahila women force also. For what purpose is that for, sir?
See, if you go to a railway station, generally when we go, the railway station is a place full of hustle and bustle, lot of commotion around. But there are times when it becomes completely deserted. And most of the railway stations are located in the center of the city. Lot of vagabond elements, some drug addicts, some drunken people come to railway station for loitering. So we have given it as an additional layer of security for our women RPF personnel, so that in case somebody is foolish enough to attack them, so to give them a sense of confidence so that they can use the chili spray. Sometimes when effecting arrest also, it can be used to calm down a violent criminal.
So human trafficking is another aspect, like many people, like they leave their homes, they just run away. So any kind of schemes that RPF has come out with, I was also again reading somewhere that you have 2 innovative schemes regarding this also.
Yes, that is a subject very close to my heart. So what we did, you see, the Indian Railways are the lifelines of the nation. And particularly for the people from weaker sections of society, they provide the cheapest and most effective means of transport, particularly to migrant labourers. So what has happened is that in big cities like Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Surat, there is a huge demand for labour, particularly child labour. So from the eastern parts of the country, the trafficking of young children for using them as child labour takes place. RPF has signed MOU with the Association for Voluntary Action. All the RPF personnel are trained in detecting children trafficking through trains. And for example, in last 3 years alone, we have saved more than 3,000 children from being trafficked. And we have arrested more than 500 traffickers. And so we are making sure that Indian Railways is not allowed to be used for human trafficking, or particularly of children, and we have been very successful. We call it Operation Ahat. We are running one more operation called Operation Nanne Farishte.
Yes, Nanne Farishte, yes.
You will be surprised to know that very large number of kids run away from home every day, and they just go to the nearest railway station, get into a train. And in the past, these children have been intercepted by human traffickers who have sometimes pushed them into child prostitution or begging syndicates. So our motto is to catch such kids before the trafficker does.
So do you train personnel?
We have specially trained them now in child psychology. We have trained them in identifying such kids. We have trained them in the law governing the care and protection of children, so that we inadvertently also we don't break any law. And you'll be very happy to know that in last 3 years alone, in fact last 2.5 years, we have saved more than 26,000 children from all over the country. We have spotted them in trains, on the platforms, and we have given them to child welfare councils as per the law, and they have been restored to their parents. So this is a very satisfying part of our work.
And sir, one more question lastly, that how does RPF handle complaints or emergencies from passengers on real time basis? Like if I have a complaint, because mostly people say कि कोई सुनता ही नहीं है.
See, it's a very big, first off, let us get an idea that, as you yourself said, that more than 23 million passengers travel on more than 13,000 trains running across the length and breadth of this country. And therefore, it's absolute security we cannot ensure. But what we do ensure is the presence of GRP and RPF on selected trains. Number two, availability of a round-the-clock efficient complaint registration system by the Rail Madad app and also through phone number 139. The moment this complaint is logged, the nearest divisional security control room is alerted, and at the next station, help is made available to the passenger who complains.
Good. So, as we heard from Mr. Yadav only, like apart from technology upgradations, there's a human force, human aspect also to the force, and the force is trying to ensure that all the passengers reach their destination safely. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to Indian Express.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.